Good morning, everybody. We're going to have a good talk. And today I was busy, as everybody knows in my video. Was busy with things, but Russia was the big news, and the march through the snow, thousands of soldiers marching to the Ukraine border, specifically the area at Donbass. Now we're going to have a good talk about that. It's breaking, it's huge, but there's a problem. And it was funny, a lot of people, they look at my meme and I see Benjamin Abel in there from the States talking about, oh, USA is going to take Taiwan. That's a Democrat narrative from absolutely, Republican narrative, absolutely from members of the Trump administration. And I can tell you all, that's as illegal as what I'm about to go through with Russia and Ukraine, and it's great. I love strong minds asking questions. Nobody finds the popularity in it, and they don't understand why would Aaron O'Toole be lined up with Joe Biden against Russia. Well, it's very simple. Aaron O'Toole sponsored Joe Biden. He's always been somewhat of a warmonger, even though Canada has zero capacity to put even a flicker against Russia. That's the truth. And I want to go through this. I'm writing a tremendous paper. It's tremendous. It's huge. It goes into Russia. I'm taking the entire weekend off for it. I'm working on that, and next weekend too, and it gets delivered. That's official. Big name Republicans want it. Democrats want it, academics want it, Russia wants it, and there's many others there. I've tagged actual official accounts of presidents in this world, Vladimir Putin being one of them. I see in my link that's the wrong tag. You really got to watch. As I got my powers back, I go back and I look when I click on it, but I can't look till after the fact, even though I thought I had the right account. This is the right one. So people are logged on. You all got to hear this, and this is the truth. I'm going to write a major paper, and it's all going to be there in massive detail. But I'm going to tee off with this because what's happened here today, everybody, the official international stage of law, Vienna. This is the law of war, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know rules of war in this world, and you don't want to end up getting executed outside of the UNSCP-5. And if you think that there hasn't been a tremendous amount of world leaders since 1945 executed by the P5, you're sadly mistaken. There's literally been hundreds. Now, it doesn't make big news. Sometimes it does. You just watch General Soleimani get executed by Donald Trump arbitrarily. It's not a crime. It is the power of a president of a UNSCP-5 nation. They can execute anybody in this world. The entire world voted for that. That is their power. When you breach international binding laws like Vienna, or worse, the human rights, specifically in the Declaration and the actual Covenant on Human Rights, and that's by the UNSCP-5, voted by all 5 UNSCP-5. That is the law of the land. What's happened here today, officially, Russian-USA talks broke down. So did Vienna. It broke down. Ukraine walked away, Russia walked away, USA walked away. That spells trouble. Trouble that Joe Biden can't bail out. NATO can't bail Ukraine out. Here is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a Democrat problem. It's also a problem in Canada for Aaron O'Toole, who continues this narrative. And everybody, hear me out, and I'm going to tell you the absolute binding laws and why USA, the Democrats, are fucked. And I say fucked. President Joe Biden is fucked, and he's tagged in this. So are others. RT News, Vladimir Putin's in the news. They're in the news. It's been all over UNSCP-5 published all year long. USA lost, lost, lost. Republicans will not back up Joe Biden. Joe Biden is losing massive support. Midterms are not looking good for Joe Biden. He's likely to lose Senate and House. For those who don't understand, if you don't have House and you don't have Senate, many of your presidential powers are absolutely gone. I will be doing this flip reversal, Donald Trump and Justin Trudeau in flip reversal. I'm going to do that, but not for some time to come, because there are no threats on the sovereignty of Taiwan at this time. When I say sovereignty of Taiwan, I mean belonging to China, absolutely cemented in international binding law. That is also the law that's been breached, first by a Republican president in 1991. In this video, for all of you, you're only hearing absolutely from me the truth, the absolute truth that nobody else will share with you, and you will watch Joe Biden lose, lose, lose on this front, and you will see what happened with Crimea happen should Vladimir Putin choose to invade over Donbass. And here's why. In 1991 March, President George H. Bush, George W. Bush's father, illegally supported Ukraine's independence, a declaration of independence, not a true referendum. How is that? That was December. March of 1991, the former Soviet Union held a complete referendum of all republics, including every citizen of Ukraine, both Russian and Ukrainian alike, in its original population, in its entirety, as a real UN state, a republic that was part of the Soviet Union. Every citizen got to vote, and they all voted for the Federation of Russia. They did not lose Ukraine's sovereignty. They didn't. None of them did. None of the republics did. There were 5. And none of the 85 regions lost. All their institutions remained bound, no problem, under the Russian Federation. That was the vote. That was the referendum done by 142 million citizens of the original 185. Not a small referendum, ladies and gentlemen. Ukraine citizens, Russian citizens thereof of Ukraine, in a massive majority, a legal referendum, in massive majority, March 1991. Go look it up. It's bound in international law, a legal referendum. Just like independence, they voted to have their sovereignty under the Federation of Russia. Every Ukrainian and every Russian voted in massive majority. No problem. 8 months later, the rogue regime out of Ukraine breaches the referendum, holds a declaration of independence because they won power in elections, not a legal referendum. They breached the Federation of Russia established, walked away. They were cemented illegally by George H. Bush. That's how it started. He would be the last Republican president to support Ukraine in the illegal manner it was done. And that's illegal. They breached the sovereignty of the Federation of Russia, who is the UNSCP 5 legitimate rep. They went rogue, and George H. Bush supported them, the last Republican to do so, because it was illegal. He lost presidency. You all watched Bill Clinton come forward, re-cementing, re-establishing the Russian Federation. Everything good. Look at the Minsk agreements, all good. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, we have President Joe Biden, who's going to once again violate law because he has a son who's tied up with a very corrupt Ukraine in an illegal declaration against a binding law and a binding treaty, breached all Minsk agreements. 11 million Russians chased out of Ukraine since that time. Go look it up, folks. Real, credible, verifiable. Where are all those Russians? Many made it back, many murdered or missing. 11 million Russians. Not a small amount of human rights violations, folks. And Russia is the UNSC P5 rep, cemented absolutely, cannot be unbound unless they choose to be. No president can choose to unbind any P5 in this world unless, folks, they declare a World War III. So for Joe Biden to use, and Boris Johnson to use NATO, for Aaron O'Toole screams as loud as he can, do it, do it, do it. You realize, Aaron O'Toole from Canada Conservative Party, that is a declaration of World War III by Canada against the Russian Federation, all 85 regions and the republics of. They can wipe Canada right off the mat. Maybe USA can take them, but I can tell you this, USA cannot take on China. UK and France don't stand a chance. They don't bolster the military in any way, shape, or form to promote USA on that front. Any leading military leader right now in the United States of America, any top generals, Democrat, Republican, or former, will tell you all this. This isn't rocket science. This isn't crackpot Dave Bjorkman. I am telling you, in international law, as it really is for all Canadians, whatever your stripes are, the idiot Aaron O'Toole, the bungling fool, and don't worry everybody, I have this exact same work for Taiwan and China and absolutely Justin Trudeau going forward. And again, the military idiot Aaron O'Toole, he slides in there too. It's sick and depraved, folks. We can't win that war. I'm telling you, you cannot. And to take on two of our allies, regardless of how you feel, the United States of America cemented the Federation of Russia in an absolute majority. For those who don't understand, in the United States of America, to do such a thing requires a massive electoral majority, not seen since the likes of Richard Nixon. You need to win no less than 280 of the House and Senate voting, which means electoral districts. You need to win 280. That's what Richard Nixon did, you guys. A whopping majority. USA is divided 50-50. House, Senate flop constantly because they can't even bring forward a unifying leader. Now, Joe Biden's desperate, ladies and gentlemen. So he is going to push with NATO, push hard, because the American machine is designed for war. So is Russia, if you haven't noticed. The 85 republics, no problem, march through the snow to take on Ukraine. They're ready to go. And this is the same in the United States of America. Those two institutions are very, very similar, can be dangerous when you don't understand international law. When you have radical presidents who come forward who tried to breach the Constitution of the United States of America, which Joe Biden's trying. He's trying to destroy Senate democracy, to force his path forward to try and unite Americans on a war against Russia that, if they bind with China, will lose. And if you don't think China isn't watching Taiwan very closely and Hong Kong after Boris Johnson, and for all of you who have not read the Opium Wars and what UK did to China, wake up, people. Look at the history of Hong Kong. Wake up. Do not be one of the fools, one of those uneducated who haven't read world history world law as it really is and don't understand constitutionalism. Because I can promise you this, Joe Biden cannot win in a majority. He can't break Senate and he can't break House. His little antics he's doing are out of desperation. Look what year it is, 2022. We're coming around the corner for midterms. He's in trouble, folks, and he knows it. He knows it. You lose House, you lose Senate, you're finished. He will be basically neutered, as was many former presidents before him. People like to say Barack Obama, great. He was a neutered president. He had the least amount done in any presidency besides making executive orders, because that's all Biden will be able to do. But if he has no House and no Senate, he's likely, and the Republicans win that, he's likely to lose his presidency. That's how it works. To command the U.S., you need a majority in the electorate. You have to win that as president, and you have to win your House and Senate. Trump was strong up until midterms. He lost one of which. That led to his downfall. Don't breach the Constitution. Don't make mistakes like that. Biden's already made way more than Donald Trump, and it's costing him huge. Aaron O'Toole is an autocratic idiot. A military man of low worth and value, I'm sorry, has no business being a prime minister. It's a weak choice for conservatives. No one's going to rally around the beating drums of war. Wars we can't win. Wars where Canada's likely to lose. Big time. And the world hates Canada right now. I can tell you all this. When it comes to the UN General Assembly states, which Russia commands many of them, China commands many of them, those two combined, outvote Canada by a massive majority. Canada's hated on the world stage. We're down in the dumps, only supported by Commonwealth countries, many of which are in third world status, autocrats of their own, who cost Canadian taxpayers huge swaths of the money, and you get told off to boot. That's reality. Now, the reality is Vladimir Putin, if he wanted to, can invade Ukraine, can take Donbass, can do a lot of things, and there is absolutely nothing anyone can do legally in this world except declare war. And that requires House and Senate. And that isn't going to happen. That ain't going to happen, folks. Joe Biden's going to lose miserably. And the fat fool Aaron O'Toole is going to jump on his soapbox, shoot his fat fucking mouth off, telling Putin off, telling the world how brave and strong he is and what Canadians are going to do. He's likely to convince many in NDP to support him promoting something in Parliament like what they did when Trump backed away and left them, NDP, when I say them, NDP and Conservatives hanging against China. And look at the damage that did, Canadians. This is what befalls us. Russia may invade. I don't know. They might. They're legally allowed to. And USA, again, would have to declare World War III. And I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. It was a breach of law, a breach of what was decided in majority by a whopping majority of United Republicans and Democrats alike. This is the same for China, Beijing. I'm sorry, Canadians, but you gotta get your head out of your ass. And this post will be backed up in a very well-written, articulated piece that's going to go to everybody. It'll be on YouTube in my writing. And it's going to be as it really is. If you haven't read the referendum by all 85 regions and the 5 republics of the former Soviet Union, you best read it, because it trumps the United Kingdom. It trumps Ukraine, jeez. It trumps Ukraine and anything they say. It trumps Joe Biden and his greasy corruption. And if you think Ukraine is a great country, I'm sorry, but the best constitutional minds of Ukraine are already talking about the breaches of the Ukraine presidency right now, and the gross corruption, gross by leaps and bounds beyond the Russian Federation, way beyond it, the most corrupt country within 5,000 radius miles, which means 10,000 miles. And then you add it, you multiply it by the circumference, and you get that huge circumference and everything inside it. And no country compares to Ukraine. It's god awful. It's been god awful since their declaration of independence. And if for more backup that will be in the paper, read South Sudan, legal independence. Read illegal independence and what Spain did. What Spain did to the Cascadians. Look at it. Or sorry, the Caledonians. Look how many died just 3 years ago. My friend runs that independence movement, a professor, a doctorate of law. Tremendous followers. Many went to jail, many executed, many thrown out of the country. And they did a declaration of independence because they won the governing power. They won the election. So they did a declaration of independence, right? They had a majority of those who elected their party for independence. Unfortunately, when you add up all opposition, it's not a majority of the citizens. It's not a legal referendum of independence. That's how the world works. And those who do it get screwed over. Those who do it get thrown under the bus. Ukraine's going to be no different. And it would take a declaration of World War III by the United States of America under one Joe Biden. And he wants to take away Senate democracy. He wants to be able to say that Senate can just vote it through if you have a majority, not what's stated in the Constitution of the United States of America. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Joe Biden is corrupt because he's ready to lose his presidency. Vladimir Putin's in the right, whether you like it or not. And it will take a declaration of World War III. That's my video. It's breaking today. Go look at all the videos of the Russian troops marching through the snow. That is an institution built for war. And I want those 85 regional constitutions to prove once and for all, just like the United States of America, Russia is significantly similar to the United States. I just need the regional constitutions to show the world, specifically the United States, so we can begin to fix the United States and once again bring Democrats and Republicans together. Show them, at least show the academic community. Educate, educate, educate. It's been done many times before. Ronald Reagan did it. Richard Nixon did it. It can be done. They just need to be shown the truth. Thanks. That's my video. This is real, credible, and verifiable. Like I said, I don't know if Vladimir Putin's going to go all the way, but if he does, he is in the legal right. We're all going to be in the wrong. And we're attached to NATO, and we got a lunatic country that is fully autocratic through Crown, with dumbbells running the government. You saw how we got our ass kicked with China. You all saw how that panned out. Do you really think if Justin Trudeau can't defeat China, and Aaron O'Toole clearly can't, neither can Jagmeet Singh? They're delusional retards who have no business running a country because there's no constitution that brings forward the best minds. There's no protections for you, the people. You're ignorant, dumb, stupid, naive politicians who run on a whim, who put your lives at risk on a whim, will continue to do it over and over again, because who's really going to stop them? There's nothing in place constitutionally to stop them. In the U.S. there is, and you're going to watch Joe Biden lose. Thanks everybody. That's my video. Prepare for another idiocracy by none other than the Canadian political leaders. Aaron O'Toole is going to be the first. I tagged him. Hopefully somebody in the Conservative Party watches this, sees the video, educates the Dumbo. That's all I can hope for. I don't want to see my Canadians going to war for something they're in the wrong over. And too many times in the world that happens, and there's no coming back from that. No coming back. Bye now. Enjoy your day. Share, share, share. It's very important. Learn the truth. There's always a truth there. The real history. And then there's the propagated history you all get. Not good at all. Bye now.